There. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and good afternoon, and welcome to the late one with yours truly, SYLBOURNE SHOW. And of course, I'm going across the Atlantic. Every Saturday, what I do is go across the Atlantic. We're in the States at Marlon Hill some time ago, Jam American, O'Neill Cross of recent days. Also, last week, I had also the Michael Hilton, QC, Emily Shields, and Mutunda McCullough talking about the recent ruling regarding dreadlocks. And we traveled all the way to Jamaica for that. Okay, maybe I'm a bias, but I'm traveling back again to Jamaica. I'm traveling back again to Jamaica to Norman, Washington, Manly, no, Norman Washington Grant. I was going to say Manly there. I'm going to actually speak to him about that because I think there's a possibility that there is some linkage there with Norman Washington Manly. For me personally, my middle name is Seymour. And I understand that it was named after Seymour Mullins. I don't know if anybody know that history there. It was a former, the late member of parliament and minister in the People's National Party. Nevertheless, this is not a political show. This is about coffee. It's about coffee. But before I go any further, UK, what's been happening? We have been having some fantastic sunshine. 35, 34 for the past 4 days. And today it's all cooled down. That is why I put on my jacket today, because I've been doing shows in t-shirt and shorts, thinking I'm on the beach, telling people in Jamaica, send me some sun, send me some actually beach, because we're very hot over here. And we have now eased the lockdown as much as possible. The easing of the lockdown is going off in phase. And of course, things are actually getting back to normal. But at the same time, there's still different areas where they're actually looking to sort of ease off the easing of the lockdown because COVID is still around as well. I'm going to speak to former Senator Norman Washington Grant about that as well in regards to Jamaica and many other things. But tonight is about coffee. Tonight is about coffee. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in the senator, former Senator Norman Washington Grant, all the way from Jamaica. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, SYLBOURNE. It's good to talk to you. It's been a long time, and I want to send you warm greetings from the beautiful island of Jamaica, the home of the finest coffee in the world, Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee.
What can I say? And it's interesting time. And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, I have Blue Mountain coffee. I always have Blue Mountain coffee. Every time somebody comes from Jamaica,
cheers.
And cheers. And I'll have a sip. So therefore, before you can actually start in the show, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, you need to get some Blue Mountain coffee. You know, Senator, before we talk, I sent a friend one time to bring me back Blue Mountain coffee from Jamaica. And they brought me back instant Blue Mountain coffee.
Oh.
I didn't like that. But it's still Blue. It is Blue Mountain, isn't it?
Yes, we actually do. Jablum actually do a Jablum instant that is made from Blue Mountain coffee. But normally the coffee connoisseur, the ones who really, are ecstatic about this fabulous experience, which we'll talk about, like the brewed coffee, we have the 100% Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. In what I produce at Mavis Bank, we have Jablum Gold, Jablum Classic. And that's coffee that I'm going to get you to ensure that all your listeners can really locate and source that coffee through you. We want to get more of that coffee on your show.
Okay, well, most definitely. I'm happy to do that. And I'm happy to be of service to Jamaica at all times. As you can see, my Jamaica emblem there. And as a person coming, and I always have to big up Ochi, coming straight from Ochi. And I mean, even though Ochiris is now deemed not to be it's been a country separate from Jamaica within Jamaica.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe you should let your listeners know that the last time, I usually do a lot of coffee shows, and the last time I was on a road show, we met up in London together with MP Dan.
Oh yes. I was sourcing that picture, and I think I actually found the picture there with Dan, Dan is my good friend, even though we're on the different side of the political
Please give
spectrum.
her my regards when you yes, that's it. Yes, it was a very splendid occasion.
Yes,
And once we get over COVID-19, I will put on my, I will move around more with my traveling kit. As
yes,
you know that I usually fly into London, to Japan, to China, to Korea. Um, but with COVID-19 around, I've slowed down on my travel plans. Yes.
yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me formally introduce you to Senator Norman Washington Grant. The key word, one of the key word he said is what they call him, and I'm going to make sure that I find it right here, and is the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Man. The Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Man. And I'm going
Yes.
to speak into that because while he represents Mavis Bank and Jablum, am I correct there, Senator?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. But at the same time, we're going to speak on the aspect of him representing and speaking up for Jamaica Blue Mountain. But let me just read just a bit, but I cannot read everything because if I read all of this, the show would finish before we can start.
But I can summarize it for you, for your listeners. So
Yes, please. Yes. Chartered accountant by profession, member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica and England. Fellows, Senator Grant is also a member of the Association of Accounting Technicians. For the past 30 years, even though he looked like 25, he has been employed at the Mavis Bank Coffee Factory Limited, where he has worked in several capacities, including financial control, operation manager, and general manager. And currently, he's a managing director and CEO, has been serving that capacity for the past 10 years. He was served as president of the Jamaica Agricultural Society between 2003 2009, re-elected in 2012 and 2015. In 2003, pioneered and launched the Grow What We Eat, What We Grow campaign. And that is crucial, isn't it, Senator? Grow what we
yes,
eat, what we grow.
that's one of my legacies.
Yes. And current chairman of Jamaica 4-H Club Board of Management, and is the current president of the Caribbean 4-H Council. I want to say, if you can actually explain a bit also, because on the bit where you're a senator, but before you do that, he's a member of the Lay Magistrate Association of St. Andrew and a member of the Commonwealth Magistrate and Judges Association in London. He was also appointed Minister of Religion in 1993, and is a member of the Executive Board of the Pilgrim Church of God of Jamaica and National Youth Director. He's married to Millicent and for 28 years with 3 children, and lots of community involvement and political. If you can sort of flesh out the rest of that.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Well, just to say, I'm married to Millicent Grant for 33 years, not 28, so that's growing. And when I'm one of the longest serving chairman of the Jamaica 4-H Club. I'm no longer chairman. And I have 3 children, all whom have got their degrees. I have a doctor, a teacher, stroke accounting, and an IT. My son is an IT specialist.
Yes.
And they're all married. I have 2 beautiful grandchildren, a grandson, Gabe, and a granddaughter, Phoebe. And I love coffee. This year is my 40th year in coffee. I started in coffee when I was 16, so I've given away my age. I'm not 35.
Yes.
I'm an internationally certified coffee cup tester. I love that practitioner because what it does, it gives me the great satisfaction to know that I certify and I assured the finest coffee in the world to be enjoyed by our wonderful consumers. My run as the president of the Jamaica Agriculture Society is one that for me is very special. I served at a time when I think that the JS needed repositioning, serving over 250,000 farmers. I repositioned
Yes.
the accounting aspect of it. When I took over the JS, we had 15 years of accounts in arrears within 14 months. And over the 15 years of me serving in the leadership, thereafter, we were able to produce our financial accounts within 5 months of the end of the financial year. And when I hand over in 2018, we grew the association assets tremendously, reorganized its debts, and really reposition the J's. One of the, my legacy is the launch of the Eat What We Grow campaign, which
Yes.
aimed to produce more food so we can reduce import. And I think over the period of my leadership, the campaign has saved the Jamaican economy somewhere in the region of 1.5 billion US dollars, which for me is remarkable. In other words, the campaign has slowed down the importation of food, increase the production of food, and
Yes.
therefore save, well needed foreign exchange for the country.
Yes.
And it was done at a time that was more strategic. Primarily now, I describe the agriculture sector as the lifeblood of the Jamaican economy, and that includes coffee, which I'll talk more about.
Yes.
But primarily with COVID-19, the agriculture sector is going to be the mainstay of the Jamaican economy, and we salute tourism and all the other service sector.
Yes.
But our ability to feed ourselves and feed others and save foreign exchange is certainly going to be critical at this time. And therefore, I want to give a big shout out to the 250,000 farmers and fisher folks. That has just been remarkable. And I really salute them as true heroes and heroines of our Jamaican economy.
Can I just ask, in setting the stage with Blue Mountain Coffee, when you hear the word Blue Mountain Coffee, it resonates a level of excellence, the best, and there's always awe. I have Blue Mountain Coffee in my house, and at times if I get a workman come across or whatever, and they're doing stuff, I say, "Would you like some coffee?" I said, "Would you like Blue Mountain Coffee?" And they say, "Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I love Blue Mountain Coffee, And I do a Blue Mountain Coffee for them, and they always come back nice, loving the Blue Mountain Coffee. When did Blue Mountain Coffee reach to the point where it became this authentic? Um, what's the history behind it? When did it reach to say this is the best coffee?
Okay. Well, let me give you the history behind coffee, and I'll tell you the history behind Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. So, coffee was first discovered in the 19th century in Ethiopia
Yes.
by a goat farmer whose goats were very excited when they ate coffee beans from a coffee tree.
Yes.
It gave them a lot of energy, and the goat farmer was quite excited,
Yes.
and said, well, this is something that we need to try about. That experience in the 9th century was not documented until about 1671. Following that, in 1928, the then governor from England, Sir Nicholas Laws, introduced a Arabica coffee plant to Jamaica, which was planted in Temple Hall in West Rural St. Andrew. That's the other side. I'm East Rural, and it was planted in West Rural.
Yes, sir.
He then brought it from Hispaniola, which is now Haiti, because
Yes.
the governor back in those days usually oversee both Hispaniola and Jamaica. It was planted in Temple Hall, and the natural conditions of Jamaica, which is the cloud cover, the soil type, and the beautiful sunshine, tropical condition, really gave this coffee, when produced, this natural mystique and authentic character. And by about 98, by 1800, by 1800, year 1800, the cultivation of coffee increased to over 600 plantations, right? So it and that was all in the rural, the hilly areas, and these were already plantation owners, and the slaves were planting the coffee. The point was that when this coffee was reaped, and made, you know, excellent body, beautiful aroma, floral, all of these are attributes that describe, great coffee. So this fantastic experience that we celebrate today is well over 200 years,
Mm.
you know. Um, London also had, a great connection with Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee, because back in those days, the Queen was served Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee.
Yes.
That was the coffee for the Queen,
Mm.
and the Japanese that now buys over 70% of our coffee usually source the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee through London.
Yes.
And the philosophy back in those days, the Japanese says, we want to enjoy the best product. So if the Queen is enjoying Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, that must be a great coffee.
Yes.
And therefore the Japanese usually buy through the London coffee futures market
Mm.
Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. But in 1953, Keeblemon of Mavis Bank Coffee Factory exported the first 3 barrels of coffee from Jamaica directly into the Japanese market.
Yes.
And since then, the demand for Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee grew exponentially,
Mm.
primarily in Japan, where now we are exporting over 70% of our current production to Japan.
Interesting that you say that, and the whole essence, because I remember, I don't know if it was a year ago or 2 years ago or so, there were some issues whereby some farmers weren't like getting paid for coffee, and yeah, you got the different levels there. How is that? I mean, with the farmers, I think
Yeah,
you alluded to that earlier.
well, the economy of coffee in Jamaica is extremely important.
Yes.
We now have about 5,000 coffee farmers. Coffee actually touched the lives of about 102,000 rural farm families.
Yes.
Primarily, the Blue Mountain coffee areas are in St. Andrew, St. Thomas, and Portland. But
Mm.
we also have non-Blue Mountain, which is I Mountain coffee, which is in Mandeville, Clarendon, those I Mountain areas, which is still very, very good and exciting coffee. So over a period of 25 years, the production of coffee grew um, from 40,000 boxes in the 1980s to 700,000 boxes in 2002. Primarily, that was driven by the Shirley Castle loan scheme that was funded by the Japanese in the 1980s and 1990s. And therefore, when we peaked in 2000, 2004, close to 95% of our exports were going to Japan. And that valued somewhere in the region, then about 25 to $30 million. Unfortunately, the Lehman
Mm.
there was a crash in 2007,
Yes.
and while the demand was still there were over inventory in Japan, and therefore the price that we were selling at was substantially reduced, which resulted in a reduction of the price to
Yes.
the Blue Mountain coffee farmers.
Mm.
But we have engaged a process where over time we are seeing a build back. It's not where we want it to be, but prior to Hurricane, um, just subsequent to Hurricane, I think it was Hurricane Ivan,
Mm.
there were substantial support for the coffee farmers.
Yes.
There were some resuscitation, Lehman Brothers economic issues, and then the market started to wobble again. And the good news, though, is that after some recession in terms of demand in Japan, there has been a build back just prior to COVID-19, where, for example, the 2019-2020 crop grew to 250,000 boxes, which is 2.5 million pounds, up from just over 200,000 boxes or 2 million pounds, which was a growth of 15 to 20%. So right now, prior to COVID-19, we're seeing a rebuilding,
Yes.
but quite frankly, Silburn, as a result of COVID, we are seeing where there is a large inventory of coffee now in Jamaica. So there are two aspects to it. 70% of our coffee that we produce is exported as green, and 30% as value added.
Yes.
I'm also president of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association, and every year we go to Japan, the USA, the UK to promote the consumption and establish green contracts
Yes, sir.
for Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. So last year we concluded some very good contracts for green coffee, and presently we're actually fulfilling those contracts. So as it relates to the green part of the business, we were able to sell coffee that we are now producing. The crisis comes because there was a close down of the tourist industry as a result of
Okay.
COVID-19. So that 30% that we normally roast and market to the tourists locally and into the hotels, you know, that just froze. So we now have about 500,000 pounds of coffee locally prior to the beginning of the current crop. And we have been engaging the government to see how they can have some intervention to support the farmers, so that at least we, as coffee processors, purchasers, and exporters, can take off the current crop, which starts in
Yeah.
August and will run through July 2021.
So
So
this is a part of the COVID helping out the economy because coffee is a major money earner.
yeah, yeah, coffee is a major coffee is a major economic driver, in
Mm.
particular for the rural economy. And so what we're actually doing, we're looking to promote more consumption of Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee on the global market. Normally, around about this time, we would be in Japan promoting coffee at the Japanese coffee exhibition. Would have gone to Europe in June, to the USA at the SCAJ show in April,
Yes.
China in November, to get the green coffee market going. So what we are actually doing now is to engage the market through virtual platform.
That's
Uh,
what I was going to say. So they're zooming it. They're zooming it.
yes. We're doing the Zoom meetings. This year, in fact, we brought to Jamaica from Japan 35 of the largest coffee roasters,
Mm.
just to understand, why Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee is so great, the atmosphere, the culture, the people, and a number of them left Jamaica
Yes.
committing to promote and buy more Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. That's just before COVID. And they were planning to come again in 2021.
Mm.
It's a part of our strategy from the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association, because I'm also president of the JCEA, the current president, to bring coffee consumers and coffee roasters to Jamaica to understand what we do, the culture, the difficult terrain that we have to negotiate to produce this fine coffee, and we find it worked. It's a beautiful story. Coffee, Blue Mountain Coffee is not only a great coffee, a beautiful tasting coffee,
Have a drink. Have a drink of coffee.
but cheers. but it has a great story.
Can I just
yeah,
sorry, keep talking and I'll come in.
So one of the things that we want to do, that we have actually done the last 3 years, and we are going to be engaged in that again this year, 2021, is is a celebration of a Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day.
Okay.
Right? Yes, that is January 9th, 2021. Okay. And pretty much where we are actually intensifying the presence of Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee on the global stage. It was a day that was introduced by our Japanese partners. Yeah. The first year, 2018, we celebrated it in Jamaica as well. And we did it again in 2019, 20, and 2020. So the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Day is something that, notwithstanding COVID, we will find a way to celebrate it.
You got to make sure that the SYLBOURNE Show is a part of such a initial event.
Absolutely. One of the plans that we have now, and I can share with you, is to have a global virtual Blue Mountain Coffee Day run.
Yes.
Where all coffee lovers across the world can buy their Blue Mountain coffee, engage into a 1, 2, 5K, 10K run, yes, and upload it on a protocol that we would have. And I think that in itself, anywhere in the world you will be able to really celebrate, the mystique and the flavor, yes, and the enriched and the wonderful experience of Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. So for the London, you are our partner, and the SYLBOURNE Show will be, yes, a partner of that event.
Well, let me just ask my viewers, do you guys love Blue Mountain Coffee? Of course, you have to say yes because you're watching it. You can't say no because you're on the show. You know what I'm saying? If you like Blue Mountain Coffee, tell me yes, and why you like Blue Mountain Coffee. And as well, when last have you had Blue Mountain Coffee as well? Please also like and share. Thanks for those joining on YouTube as well and Facebook, which former Senator Norman Washington Grant, Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Man. I want to ask you this question because what you represent Mavis Bank and Jablon.
Yes.
Right. And of course, I see so many other names, coffee companies out there, Blue Mountain. But yes, at the same time, you speak like an ambassador, which you are,
yes,
of the Mountain, by virtue of being the president of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association. That's fair.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's right. So you have let me just share the quick structure with you.
Yes, sir.
The industry is made up of about 8. Well, there's 5,000 coffee farmers. Sure. There are about 18 buyers or traders, and we have organized ourselves in a group called the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association. You have a number of coffee farms, factories who buy coffee, process it, and export it under their trade name. The coffee board, or JACRA, which is under MyCoff, is the agency of government that owns the trademark name. So all of us are licensed by JACRA or the coffee board.
Yes, sir.
And we export green beans through JACRA. But for the roasted coffee, we can export that directly into the markets. Yes. So you have company Mavis Bank Coffee Factory, Coffee Traders, Jamaica Standard Product, Stone Lee, Trumpet Tree. You have a number of Gold Cup Coffee, Salada. It's a long list. Um, Coffee Blue, Wallingford Coffee.
Mm.
So we buy from farmers, process that coffee, and export it both in green, in barrels and bags, and roasted under our different brands. While I'm managing director and CEO of Mavis Bank, I speak very emphatically about my brand.
Yes.
But in my capacity as chairman of and president of the Coffee Exporters Association, I really avail myself to represent the Jamaica Blue Mountain and the Jamaica Eye Mountain brands emphatically, because all of us as coffee growers, processors
Mm.
have played a critical role in the transformation and the development of coffee. And when I became chairman, I said, it was important that we develop the Jamaica Blue Mountain brand so that all players can benefit, all the farmers can benefit, and that is what my focus is, and the JCA focuses at this time.
Okay, I
Uh,
want to ask, yeah, I want to ask you this question here. Well, Lorna Foster just said, "I love Blue Mountain Coffee. I live near the UCC Crichton Coffee Factory.
oh, that's up in Irish Town.
Yeah, I've been on tour to the factory, saw the coffee plantation. Very impressive. I think it is owned by some Japanese people or Chinese. Is that correct?"
Okay, right. So Lorna, I'm happy that we have in her an ambassador. So the UCC Creighton House is owned by UCC, that farm, which is a Japanese company. But of course, you have all of the other local operations are owned by Jamaicans. Mavis Bank Coffee Factory in Jablum is owned by the Honorable Michael Leachin.
Yes.
He bought it recently. It was a company that actually was developed and formed by the Munn family, Keeblebon, who was a former minister of agriculture. And in fact, next year, Mavis Bank will celebrate 100 years, because it was formed in 1921. So that, in fact, is a remarkable contribution to the development and the transformation of coffee over an extended period of time. You have the Sharps, Richard, Jason, and Jackie Sharp, that is Coffee Blue and Coffee Traders. You have the Lins in Gold Cup, Jackie and John O'Mine at Jamaica Standard Product, which is really a deep and long-standing company. You have some newer companies. The Shirleys have been around for a while as well. Stone Lee Coffee, a new kid on the block, which is doing very well, Trumpet Tree.
Yeah.
So you have the Coffee Growers Association, who are also members of our association. You have, Mark Fletcher with Country Traders, and Paula Fletcher, and Courtney Fletcher with Moyal. So it's really a deep and rich, history. You have the Dunkleys with Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Venture. So we work together to really support the farmers in a very big way. One of the things that we also do, we offer tours
Yes.
to persons who want to come and educate themselves about coffee. And we are very, very focused on a big market development and expansion program.
Yes.
I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate the new ambassador from Jamaica to Japan, Shauna K. Richards, who actually toured the Mavis Bank Coffee Factory, and I
Yeah.
gave her a good lesson in coffee cupping, which I'll talk about later. But it's an important market. The Japanese market is a very important market for us. By 70% of our coffee. But
Yeah.
and the other markets are equally as important. The USA, which is about 20%, UK, China, and the rest of the world, 10%. So we're seeking to build out a robust platform
Mm.
for Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. It is the highest priced coffee. We have to focus on quality and make sure that our consumers all over the world
Get the best.
can get the best coffee in the world.
Now, I want to ask you this question here now, because I saw some videos of late whereby you have something in your mouth and you're doing all of this sort of thing here. And I got a snippet of it there. And ladies and gentlemen, watch this. Look at this here. Let me just play this a bit.
At Mavis Bank Coffee Factory.
What is that happening there, Senator?
Right. So I am an internationally certified cup taster. I have been cupping coffee for over 35 years, trained by Keeblemon, David Evans, cupped with people like Irvin Willis, cupped in a number of countries, USA, China, Korea, Latin America, Mexico. You have to cup a lot of coffee to develop the taste profile of many coffees. So what I was actually doing there, so the first thing that you do is that to recognize that when you plant a coffee tree, it takes 2 to 3 years to come into production. Once the coffee is ripe and you pick it, from that point to the cup is about 10 different stages.
Yes.
10 different stages that the coffee goes through. One of the things that you'll have to do is to roast the coffee.
Yeah.
Pour hot water on it and let it settle for about 4 minutes. And then you smell. So that picture, what I was trying to do was to stir and smell, get the aroma, and from the aroma, I'm trying to analyze the different degree of its attribute. Its flavor, its flavor profile. Whether it has any floral, any winey. We want to make sure that there is no off taste. So when that coffee goes into the cup,
Yes.
and the consumer is perking it, SYLBOURNE, all you can get is a wow. And it is in that room we make sure that if you're buying a pound of coffee for 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 or $150, depending on where across the world that you buy that coffee, you are getting a wonderful and a superb and a sophisticated coffee experience. So I was actually smelling there. Okay.
The Pagels in London say we absolutely love Jablum coffee. Big up, Mr. Grant. That is a comment there, which is good.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Pagel. Thank you very much, Jonathan. So that's the smelling. Okay.
Yes.
After the smelling, so you roast. You have to inspect the beans to make sure that they are even, they are balanced. You have to inspect both the green and the roasted to make sure that there are no defects in the products. Yes, because you want the coffee to be perfect. You want a perfect roast, a perfect balance, coffee, even density that will result into nothing but a sophisticated and a fantastic coffee experience. So after you, okay.
No, say it. Finish.
After you smell, you then taste to confirm what you smell.
Yeah.
So I'll take a sample, put it in my flask, which is a new SCA protocol, because prior to COVID, you could use a spoon and use the same spoon right around to put in the cup. But now you'll have to take a sample out of the cup with the spoon and put it in your flask. So what I do, I slurp it in, and you can share that. A fine spray to the back of my taste buds, right? Because it's all about playing around the coffee on your tongue and assessing, its balance, its acidity, its dryness, its cleanness, its aftertaste. And normally, if you're a professional cupper, there's a spittoon that you spit it out, because you don't want to swallow all of that coffee
Yeah.
that you're taking in. I remember, Irvin Willis and myself, many years ago, we went to Atlanta to cup coffee, and in one day I cupped 420 cups of coffee. So then, yeah. And then you have to clean the palate after each batch so that you can make a mental memory of what you're tasting. Then you document it on a score sheet. And then, at the end of the process, you tick the box and you say
Yes.
to your production or your operational manager, go roast it, go pack it, get it on a ship, and get it to London, to Tokyo, to Beijing, to New York, so anywhere in the world, so that our coffee lovers can enjoy the very best.
What I wanted to ask you, because you have this permanent smile on your face all the time. Every time I see you, got this permanent smile on your face. And coffee, from 16 years of age, you've been working with the coffee business. Yeah, you love it, isn't it? You love it. Yeah, you just love
I
it.
love I love it. One of my boss, one of my owners told me one time that, Norman, you love coffee, I love money. and my answer was, if you take care of coffee, coffee will make you a lot of money. I
Yeah.
always say to the farmers, if you take care of your coffee will take care of you.
Mm.
And so, I've been cupping coffee from I'm 19 years old. Yeah,
Yeah.
trained by Kibamon, by David Evans, cup all over the world, cupped with some great cuppers, with the Steve Leaches, of the coffee world, the Ken Davids. I was just been certified by Boot Coffee Campus in California, and coffee is a great commodity, and while it is similar to wine tasting
Mm.
and tea tasting, I see cup tasting as a little more sophisticated. Yeah. So yes, and it makes me smile too. Great coffee makes you smile.
So tell us now, um, where do we see now coffee going, and also the diaspora, people in the UK? Is there opportunities for people buying plots of lands, or the ways of investing in being a part of the ownership of coffee in the Blue Mountain Hills? And what can the diaspora do to help to support the coffee business
Yes.
in
Yeah.
Jamaica?
Yeah. Uh, uh, what Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee is not a cheap coffee.
Yes.
It is in the gourmet um, bracket, gourmet category. It is specialty coffee,
Yes, sir.
and it is expensive. It's mostly for gifts. It's
Mm.
mostly for gifts. What has happened is that because of recessions from time to time and difficulties that is experienced right across the world, sometimes the demand is down and sometimes the demand is up.
Yes, sir.
The challenge is that sometimes when the demand is down, price goes down, and farmers get frustrated and leave the business. When the demand goes up, farmers gets in, but it takes 3 years to come into production. So only those farmers that stick with it would really maximize during the uptime.
Yeah.
And my message to the farmers is that we have to find a way to stick to it so we can balance it out. So the primary thing that we need to do first, just to answer your question very specifically, is
Yes.
to keep the quality there. Blue
Yeah.
Mountain Coffee fetches the price, and give this awesome experience because of the quality. And that is why, I'm so big in, the copying and the lab, just to make sure. And what I do at Mavis Bank and the others do at their operation, the Coffee Industry Board does it to every single batch before it leaves Kingston, Jamaica.
Yeah.
And they stand behind that quality. Now Jackra, so-called, because coffee board is now merged with all the other commodities. And I want to just place it on record that they have done a fantastic job,
Yes.
in terms of preserving that quality. But what can our diaspora do is to buy more coffee. I think
Mm.
we need to find a way to um, get more of the gourmet perked coffee into the diaspora and get it into some of the inbound and the elite stores, because and the coffee shops, the roasters. There are 6,000 coffee roasters in the USA. If each of them buy a barrel of coffee, it will sap up the demand. We have in London, it's Canada is a sophisticated market. Japan is a mature market, but it's a market
Yes.
that continues to refresh itself. China, there are opportunities in China, places like China, Beijing, Hong Kong, and Korea, as well as Australia. And we need to find a way to continue to keep the farmers encouraged,
Yes.
um, to stay into coffee, and you know I'm hoping one day, we can float a diasporal bond, a Jamaica Blue Mountain diasporal bond, for
Okay.
the diaspora to come and invest
Mm.
in Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. Listen, coffee is one of those national products, right? So we have our coffee, we have our music, we have our food, and notwithstanding the challenges that we face, I think we can do so much more in terms of investing in coffee. Making sure that our farmers
Mm.
are encouraged. I frankly believe
Yes.
that because of its contribution to foreign exchange earning and employment, when we have challenges, then the government has to step in and
Yes.
support the farmers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and for those on Instagram, just join me as well. I'm with Norman Washington Grant, out of ODJP, former senator, managing director, and CEO, Mavis Bank Coffee Factory, and is known as the Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee Man. I'm not going to let you go without talking a bit of even small politics. Election is called September the 3rd. I'm not going to go into that, but you're a senator for a while. What was it like? I mean, you, you're not
Yes.
you're still in your coffee, but you're operating as a senator. Can you give us sort of flavor of what that was like?
Yes. Yeah, I was appointed to the Senate by Prime Minister P.J. Patterson in November of 2001. I spent 15 years as a senator, as a member of the People's National Party,
Mm.
um, representing, of course, agricultural issues. And I remember when, I was always lobbying for, youth in agriculture,
Mm.
and better roads, better water, and for the agriculture sector. And Prime Minister Patterson, on the recommendation of then Minister Roger Clark, called me and said, I'm going to offer you a place in the Senate where you can, represent your sector more. And it has really been fulfilling. I've placed a lot of motions on the table. The Eat What We Grow campaign, Operation Develop Agriculture. I was the one actually who tabled a motion in the Senate to allow for the use of technology
Yes.
in the Senate. I used my position to table a number of resolutions to fight pre larceny, better road conditions, more irrigation, and I left a number of resolutions in the house. I there are still unfinished business there.
Yes,
It's one of the role that really gave me a lot of satisfaction,
yes,
and which I use. It's not representational politics,
yes, yes,
um, but I use the time to make the difference that I could make. I think that's why we're here. We're here to
a
make
different.
the world a better place, and that's what the Senate afforded me,
Yes,
and I will always be eternally grateful to
yes,
both Honorable Roger Clark and Prime Minister PJ Patterson.
yes, yes. Well, I want to thank you.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe one day I'll get there again.
yeah, yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and for sharing your thoughts. Of course, I said I wasn't going to push you into the political discussion, but one of the things that I'm thinking of doing with a couple of guys is to create a program called Election Watch leading up to September the 3rd. And we may be
Yeah,
calling on persons, maybe just to share their thoughts on what the various parties are saying to the country. Because the diaspora, we like to be involved in the whole thing at the same time, even though we might not be there and people might not have a vote. But one of the things I just want to let it land is that people sometimes are saying that what if someone is in this? Okay, let's use for example. What if my sister was visiting for 3 weeks, for argument's sake, and then boom, election is called, which is in another 3 weeks. What should she do? Go back to vote if she really, really want to vote, or should there be something implemented with the High Commission or so, where even those persons can actually have the ability to vote? I don't know if
yeah.
you want to touch that. It's up to
Yeah,
you.
well, with my view back as a legislator, I have strong views on some issues. One, I believe in fixed election dates. I
Yes,
believe that we should adopt the model of Britain, where if there is a crisis and you need to go back to Parliament with a majority vote, then you can do that, a two-third majority, in order to come out of a fixed date. But I don't believe that one person should really have that right to have everyone guessing.
yeah,
Um, and I really believe, I really hope that this election, this general election, would be the last one that we would be having this guessing game. I think it's very important that as a mature democracy, we
hmm,
move towards a fixed election date
hmm,
with the necessary safeguards to deal with crisis
yes,
if they arise. And I think the model that is adopted by Britain is a useful model. Just like the Brexit issue,
exactly, yeah.
you could go back to Parliament and you could have a two-thirds majority vote that requires an election, a mandate prior to that. I'm very strong in relation to those areas.
Yeah,
I'm also very strong in terms of ensuring that every Jamaican who have a right to vote should be given that right to vote.
yes,
And I think that a fixed election date allows for that. And I hope as well that everything will go well in the September 3rd election call, and
mm,
that we all will, um, you know, exercise our franchise,
yes.
and we will all accept the results of the voters at the time when it is made. I will exercise my franchise.
And,
Okay. And I
and
hope some of you that are in the diaspora will get to the time where you can exercise your franchise as well. Yes.
and I can vote in Ocherius in Northeast Centon, which is my area, Northeast Centon there. And
Okay.
now, what about Kamala Harris?
Oh,
What's your
yes. Yes. I would like to take the opportunity really, you know, on my behalf and on the behalf of my sector, the coffee, the farmers, to congratulate her in her ascension I have read and I've watched her grow in terms of, all the game changing move that she has made.
Yes,
And
sir.
it makes Jamaica very, very proud. She was from both Indian and Jamaican parentage. And, the way that she delivered herself, the way that, she articulates issues really make us, very, very proud
Yes.
as Jamaicans. And I'd like to congratulate her. As Buju Banton said, everywhere we go, yeah, we are Jamaican. The Jamaican walk, the Jamaican bop.
And
Nobody would have to show the passport, We're
and
Jamaican. I really want to congratulate her
yes.
and wish her all the best,
Mm,
all the success.
yes.
And if she's successful, I know we'll all be proud
Yes.
of her stewardship as vice president.
And she said something which was powerful. Said, Jamaica, you mean that big country in that small island? A big country in that island, small island, yeah.
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah, listen,
absolutely.
um,
I,
say-
I really enjoy. I want to commend you on the show.
thank you, sir.
I have been following it. I've
Yes,
been following your show, as you know that I follow you.
yes, yes,
I didn't know I would have gotten an opportunity to come on your show. I hope that this is the first, but it's not the last.
no, no, yes,
And I want to thank you very much. You are really a tremendous example, absolutely, of everything good about Jamaica,
mhm.
and continue the good work. One of these days, when you are doing your election watch, I can come back and talk about that. But today, I really want to speak specifically to my, coffee lovers, and let you know why Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee is the best coffee, what
Yes,
goes into making the great coffee. And I couldn't conclude without saluting um, my board, my shareholder, Honorable Leachin and Mark McIntosh, Vice Chairman, and
yes,
all the staff of Mavis Bank Coffee Factory, the farmers that supports us there, over 3,500 farmers, over 200 employees,
mm,
that really does exceptionally well to make sure that we provide the finest coffee in the world. And I'd like to salute all of my family for their support. My wife, Millicent, yes, my children, my
yes,
in-laws, everybody that has my parents, yeah. In fact, my father, who is now deceased, was the manager at the coffee plantation there at Mavis Bank, and that's how I end up leaving Jamaica College at 19 and getting involved in coffee with Mr. Kibermon.
yeah.
Edgar Mon, who is in the States, that we really did a lot to develop that market. So Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee to the world.
To the world. And as you requested, if person want to get hold of you and want to tap into the coffee, there's your number there. There's your details going across the screen, with your straight line and your Instagram. You got two Instagram. You're like I thought you said you're in your late. You're like a 21-year-old on your Instagram thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm also on Twitter as well, and I'm on Zoom as well. You have to keep up to it,
Yeah, keep it up.
I normally say, in concluding, my days like this, I wake up in the morning and I pray,
Yes,
and
sir.
then I go for a run, and then I have a cup of Jablum coffee, and then I promote Grow What We Eat, What We Grow, and just love everybody and have a good heart for everybody. And you look young and fresh,
Yeah.
Everybody will not like you, but make sure you don't keep up anybody in your heart. It's too small.
Listen. Life is too short now. I mean,
Life is too short.
I did have a good video this morning with an old song from Virgin from York Castle from school days. I was singing a song, and I just enjoy life is too short. We just need to drink our coffee and just
Yeah.
and
Yeah, cheers.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a coffee, because Senator and myself having our cup, and this is real Blue Mountain coffee. Just let you know, not any fake alternative fat coffee or something like that.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers. So I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for
Coffee to
joining
the
us.
world.
Yeah, coffee to the world. I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show with former Senator Norman Washington Grant, and also let me just make it very clear, the managing director and CEO of Mavis Bank Coffee Factory, and doing so many great, fantastic things in Jamaica, and and I'm grateful. And I tell you what, I think I pride myself as a Jamaican who try to keep my links and my contacts on the ground still, and some reasons why I will be bringing more Jamaicans on the show to talk about Jamaica as well, and to display the splendor of Jamaica. Because, Senator, I'm a person, I consider myself a serial positive, optimistic person. You know, and,
Yes.
and when I came to the UK, I come to the UK just to do just to study law and go back to Jamaica in 3 years' time. That was the plan. And now it's 1990. That was 1992. Now it's 28 years later. You know what I mean? But I went back to Jamaica. I got a wife in Jamaica straight from my hometown, Ocho Rios. You know.
Oh, go boy. I have some friends in London. My
Yes,
cousin Jennifer, Jonathan, and Alicia. Yes.
yes,
And all of my agents. We want to really get that coffee. We're sending you some coffee, yeah?
yes,
Right? We're sending you some coffee so we can get the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee all over London.
yes. Blue Mountain coffee to the world, as they would
Blue
say.
Mountain coffee to the world.
Listen.
Indeed.
Okay, so anyway, take care of yourself, and we'll talk. I will talk back to you shortly after. Okay.
Fantastic.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. God bless. Cheers. Peace. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to thank you so much for coming on, and thanks so much to Sir Grant for joining us today. Been meaning to have him on for a while, but when I started seeing him sharing all those videos and slurping the coffee, I said, let me just get this going quick and soon as possible. So I want to thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe to the SYLBOURNE Show on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, Instagram as well, SYLBOURNE TV. It's getting exciting on the show, I must say. I just need to remind you that on Wednesdays, it's whereby anything happens. On Thursdays, in review, where I've got the resident guest, Dr. David Burton and Kima and Keisha, the twins. And on Friday, what I do is engage with young persons, whereby we look at youth connections, because I said I want to give over Friday to engage with young people. And it's building into a movement now, whereby as I get another young person, they bring in another young person. I just sit down and listen to them, and they engage as much as possible using the platform. On Saturdays, Youth Connect across the Atlantic, where I go to the States, wherever, not just Jamaicans only, but anyone which I believe is interesting and positive, to talk to them. I pride more in having that one-to-one interaction with persons. And leading up to the Jamaica election, which is September the 3rd, myself and a couple of persons, what we are thinking of doing is doing election watch, whereby we convene, and we have maybe 3 or 4 persons. I can have up to 4 persons, including myself, and to talk about the elections. Hopefully, we can get members of the 3 parties. There's a new party down there, JPP. There's also the JLP, which is the governing party, and the People's National Party, which is opposition. And to see if we can get a representative to go through their manifestos. I believe the manifestos are not out yet. I'm not sure, but it's a way of the diaspora engaging. So again, using the platform, it may start this Sunday around 6 o'clock, and leading up to God. There are 3 Sundays before September the 3rd for the election. So it would be good for that as well, and to really talk about it. So yeah, and those on Instagram, guys, I want to thank you so much. Normally I invite the guests to come over there, but I will pop over there for a while. Terry, I'd love for you to have a chat with me, Terry, if you're on now on Instagram. So thank you so much, guys, and all the best, and have a good night. And thank you so much, former Senator Grant and Norman Washington. I'm grateful, and I'm pleased, and I'm blessed. Thank you very much, guys.